I did want to talk about a particular story, and I don't have a ton of details, but so I still keep up with wrestling.
Yeah.
I it's I mean I loved wrestling when I was a kid. It's not great these days, but something inside me I just compels me still to keep up with it. WWE at least. And
Yeah.
so it was announced. I found this surprising that starting next January, so a year from now,
Mm.
Monday Night Raw is actually going to start airing on Netflix. Netflix bought
Oh,
the
all
rights.
right.
So the thing
That'll
that
make
oh, go
it
ahead.
all more popular, right? Like everybody has Netflix,
Uh,
depending on your licensing or whatever the deal is. But I
yeah,
mean, it's already popular everywhere. I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
I guess I'll have to subscribe to Netflix again, which was kind of a bummer,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't know, they haven't had a ton of. That's why I haven't been subscribed in a while. Is they just ran out of stuff that I was really that interested in. But the thing that kind of bums me out is part of the news release said that like in other countries, not the U.S. but outside the U.S., like their Netflix will also be streaming like SmackDown, NXT. I think
Mm.
even a lot of like the pay per view stuff. But
Mm.
like that makes me think that in America they're going to make us still like subscribe to stuff like either Peacock or some other streaming service
Yeah.
for
Oh, for sure.
those.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could probably get like a what do you call it, the I thing that changes your IP address to another country. So
Oh,
you yeah
VPN.
yeah VPN. So there's probably a way around that, but like that's still an extra step that I don't really want. But the other thing I was wondering, AJ, did you hear this news story about Vince McMahon that broke this week?
No.
Okay, this is pretty wild. So, so like about maybe it was a year and a half ago, he was already in a scandal because he basically got caught having an affair with a woman that worked at the company and paying her hush money. And I don't even think the crime necessarily was the hush money, but the fact that he might have used like corporate funds to pay her.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure how that shook out, whether it was settled in a manner or whether he just got away with it or whatever. But it was weird because at that point he stepped away for a while, but then the company ended up selling to TKO, which also owns the UFC.
Okay.
And
This man sold the WWE to or a different company.
yeah, so it was already like a corporately held entity, but now, yeah. So there was this big sale, and now that it's owned, basically there's this group called TKO Group, and now they own both the UFC and the WWE.
Okay.
So when that happened, they even though Vince was embroiled in this scandal, um, like basically they let him back on in some sort of position, and he claimed that he wasn't like doing any of the day-to-day stuff with the WWE, but
Mhm.
like a lot of people said like yeah he was still influencing things. um,
Yeah.
but now that same woman is still now suing him for what she calls I think not only like sexual abuse but sexual trafficking,
What?
because he basically encouraged, like not only did he have relations with her, but he encouraged her to have relations with this other guy in the company that was essentially in a position above her,
Okay.
and you know basically made it sound like she'd be fired if she didn't do that, and he also like encouraged her allegedly to like send like nude photos and stuff to, they don't
Mm.
name him but it sounds like Brock Lesnar, like from
Oh,
the
what? Oh
descriptions.
my
Yes,
God.
so this is going to be like I
How
think a
old is
pretty
this
big.
lady? Is she like a young, like 30 or something? Is she like
Yeah,
an
I think
older?
she, no, she's a younger woman. Yeah,
Okay.
she's a younger woman.
All right.
But also they uncut in this lawsuit, they post some of the text messages that Vince sent her, And all I gotta
Oh,
say is you should look him up because they are wild.
oof.
Because he's like one of them. He tells her like that she should get like basically like you know, three big black guys should like go at run a train on her and all this stuff. And
Oh,
like
God. This guy was saying all his stuff, man. All his innermost kink thoughts.
it gets dark. And like the thing of it is most of those like a lawyer could probably just say, "Oh, that's all fantasy stuff," you know. But the one that gets him is there's a couple I think where he mentions like so John Laurinaitis is this other guy in the company that he was basically encouraging her to have relations with,
Okay.
and there's text where he's basically setting up those meetings and stuff, and so I think those are going to be the smoking gun. Oh,
Why
and by
was
the
he
way,
so intent on her laying with like banging these people? Like, why was he so? He became a pimp all of a sudden. Like, he was the guy who was in charge of the WWE. He's a multi. He's wasn't he a billionaire at this point?
oh yeah, he still is. He still is. But it is bizarre because like it's one thing if he was just having an affair with this lady, but why would he then encourage her to have relations with other people in the company? That's just weird to me.
The only thing I can think is like it's a power thing.
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean I see her lawsuit. It makes sense to me. Like he was definitely wielding that over her and telling her she'd be out of a job if she didn't do anything. Man, that's he's gonna have to settle.
Well, the latest update to this story is he did. I think either just yesterday, maybe the day before, he did resign his position with the company.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I encourage you when we're done to go look up those text messages because,
Oh
like
boy,
I said,
ready to cringe.
they're wild, man. They're wild, and they do not put him in a flattering light. I mean, I think he is going to end up paying money,
Oh yeah,
big time.
I wholeheartedly think that's the case. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but man, craziness. I just wonder too, like if it is found that like I think they said like there's no evidence that Brock Lesnar had like actual like sexual relations with this woman, but there
Yeah.
was evidence that like it like she sent him the nudes and like she called him or he called her a derogatory name for some reason and like
Oh,
so I'm just wondering like how many people get caught up in this scandal and like what it does to their careers like because
this
even
is
if
this
how
is some sort of.
yeah
Oh, good.
well I was just gonna say like how many people knew about this and if it's uncovered that they knew about it like there I assume there could be they could lose their job as well.
It just sounds like everybody was trying to like use this as a toilet. Like they were just trying to like some sort of dom sub relationship situation. Like it's weird.
In one of those texts too he like says that he told like you know everybody like a bunch of other people he works with about her and how all this like graphic sexual stuff about and I'm like geez
Oh,
Lou like it's crazy. Yeah, Vince McMahon is he I always I always knew he was like out there like you know
yeah, you can tell. You could tell.
man like I'm almost surprised he wasn't on Epstein's list to be honest.
There's still hope that, or whatever you want to call it, that he is. Like it's. I'm sure a lot of people haven't been found out. Epstein was mysteriously killed or died or committed suicide or whatever the case was. I'm sure some people, are safe from that exposure.
Yeah, man. And then recently like him and Donald Trump really are cut from the same cloth, Vince and, and Donald Trump. And Trump was just, last year I think he was not criminally because it had like been too long, but he was basically civilly convicted of sexual assault to that one woman, and now he's
Mhm.
been ordered to pay her something like $80 million. Now I think they say that'll probably be appealed, and eventually he'll probably there'll be a settlement where he probably doesn't have to pay quite that
Right.
much, but it'll still be millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Um, man,
People in power, man. God, men in power. You don't hear about the women in power, so I don't know. Maybe they're very smart about what they do, or the guys just are happy to be a sugar baby in that situation or whatever. But you hear about it from men all the time.